PetSmart is being sued in Colorado for sending former dog groomers to collections as part of this scheme that they were doing for a training repayment agreement provision, or TRAP. So essentially, if you worked for them to be a dog groomer, they would send you to dog groomer school, and you would owe them $5,000 for dog groomer school and the supplies that they gave you. And what PetSmart was doing is, when these people who were making minimum wage were fired, then they were getting popped for $5,000 or quitting or trying to leave for this academy that they went to.
Yeah, what PetSmart was doing, according to this lawsuit, was effectively turning these people into indentured servants. You have to work for us because you owe us money. You know, we paid for you to go to this very subpar dog grooming school. We gave you these subpar, shears and clippers to use, which is also what the employees allege. Like, their training was garbage. They did not learn how to properly groom these animals that they're supposed to be grooming. They didn't properly learn how to handle these animals in a way to not hurt the animals or themselves. And the equipment that they were given, and the equipment alone was worth about $500, it falls apart. It's trash. So you locked us into these. You forced us to sign non-compete agreements, so we couldn't even go and be a dog groomer anywhere else for, however many years you had in this contract. We're stuck here making minimum wage, and a good portion of our paycheck goes right back to you for this training academy that you also run. So you're not actually losing money. But yeah, these employees became indentured servants to PetSmart, which is crazy.
Well, and it's interesting. So I had never heard of these TRAPS agreements before. Non-compete agreements consistently on state courts have been being struck down. Even conservative states have said, hey, we don't like this. This is stifling the economy. This is stifling the worker. And then the previous administration had banned them on the federal level. That has been stopped now, and the future enforcement of that is unclear. And so these TRAP provisions have seen a rise, particularly not just low income, but high income. I was pulling some reports here, and so I'll read those out. This one wants $24,000 to compensate the company for its lost profits if you leave. And that was a healthcare staffing agency. Another one, an airline, had 100 lawsuits against departing pilots to enforce $20,000 against them. Republic Airways announced new pilot contracts require them to pay a $100,000 penalty if they leave within 3 years. Of course, the PetSmart one, and trucking companies were also requiring as much as $6,000 for trucking school if you left within 3 years. And of course, you do not have to be a genius to see how this would stifle the economy and hurt workers.
And look, these companies that are doing this, they don't view workers as human beings, because we're absolutely not human beings to them. You're a cog in the machine. You're a tool to greater profits, and we will use that tool as long as we can. We will take advantage of it. We're going to use the tool for things it may not be made for, but we're going to do it and take advantage and squeeze every drop of money out of you. And by God, if we don't get our money out of you this way through work, we're going to get it out of you in the lawsuits we file when you try to leave because we're mistreating you. It is a horrible situation for these workers. And as you point out here, this is all over the place, and it's spreading to more places. So this is just a horrifying future for American workers. And, we'll see what happens with this lawsuit. Hopefully they are able to prevail, because if they do not, this will spread like wildfire immediately.
Well, and I know some of our viewers will say, well, the workers don't have to work there, don't sign the contract. And in an economy that is much worse and worsening every day, jobs are hard to come by, and the employers have the power to say, especially as jobs get replaced by AI, and we see this was at 232,000 lost jobs this last quarter. You cannot leave companies to their own devices, because as we've seen historically, they will be evil. They will do bad things, and this is where you need a regulatory state, which we currently do not have.